My name is Junior Marie and I'm watching PressPassTV.com.
Hi and welcome to PressPassTV.com. I'm Morgan Page, thanks for joining us. Cricket's the #1 sport in many parts of the world, so it's fitting that Queens, the most international county in the country, took home the championship at the first ever Mayor's Cup cricket tournament in New York City. We hope you enjoy this story about a very special cricket tournament.
I want to celebrate New York's diversity in sports.
Cricket has been playing in this region for over 100 years, and a lot of folks do not even know what cricket is all about.
I said, well, there ought to be more that I can do for cricket.
This tournament is the inaugural Mayor's Cup 2020 over competition. We are now looking at the Bronx versus Queens Borough. It's competition by boroughs, 5 boroughs represented.
The tournament is sponsored by the Mayor's Office, the Parks Commission, and by Brooklyn Parks Commissioner Julius Spiegel.
My kids participate in the Mayor's Cup track and field meet up in the Armory, and there's a Mayor's Cup handball tournament, and there's a Mayor's Cup softball tournament. I say, why don't we do a Mayor's Cup cricket tournament?
It takes place at Spring Creek Park, at the base of JFK International Airport, at the outermost edges of Brooklyn.
One alone. Shot one!
I learned after we organized this thing that cricket is the second most popular sport in the world.
It's an international event. New York Cricket Region is made up of cricketers from across the globe, from Bangladesh to India, to England, to Australia.
That includes some former national player out of the West Indies and certainly from Pakistan.
This is about the best in New York. Actually, the Parks Department built this specifically for cricket.
Spring Creek is home to the city's first cricket-specific field, a field that was a pet project of Commissioner Spiegel. He first began conversations to turn the area into a cricket field over 10 years ago, and finally realized the vision when the new park opened in 2003.
And they wanted to build a Little League baseball field here. And I had already seen the neighborhood changing. Demographics were changing. And I know because we've been getting requests for places for people to play cricket. And so I insisted that this field be a cricket field.
It's a start and it's an excellent facility. The dimensions are a bit small, but we can live with that.
There are cricket leagues in all 5 New York City boroughs, and this tournament brings together the best teams from each borough for 2 reasons. 1, to determine which borough will claim the title of best cricketers, and 2, to celebrate what's arguably the most popular sport for over 20% of New York's population.
There's always bragging rights, and there's always the talk that players coming from different worlds are better than the other one, but it all will balance out to what happens today in 3 hours of play, and then probably the whole bragging rights will go to the borough that really wins here today.
Fittingly, this beautiful facility sits near one of the busiest international airports in the country. It's likely that every player on the field today has passed through the gates of JFK on their way to or from their country of origin.
It's always good for the sport to have nationals coming and playing alongside some of the locals. It's very good for the sport.
The guys are very competitive, they love the game, and they play very serious, so I think it's good. I hope that one day probably you can be played professionally, like the baseball or basketball, you never know.
I can tell you that in the Caribbean, just in the national stands, we have a section called the party stand, and no other stadium in the world have that. And all the stadiums in the Caribbean have a party stand where you barbecue and cook and you enjoy yourself, and that's the spirit of the game. Not taking anything away from the seriousness of the sport, but that's how we are, always in a festive mood.
Annual Mayor's Cup, Queens. Where are you, Queens? Congratulations.
That's more of an afterthought. This was a celebration of the world's #2 sport in one of the most international cities in the world.
If you're talking about unruly kids in school, or in the homes, or even on the streets, this is a sport that definitely can help.
Eric Susanen, PressPassTV.com.
Thanks for checking out that segment. We hope you enjoyed it. There are plenty more behind-the-scenes stories on our website, PressPassTV.com, or on our YouTube page, youtube.com/PressPass. For everyone here at PressPassTV.com, I'm Morgan Page. Bye.